l'équipe des Laurentides, représentée par Daniel Blanc, représentant le Québec, équipe numéro 2, ici à Charlottetown. Quebec team number 2, Laurentides, coached by Mr. Daniel Blanc. National anthem just about to take place. We'll go off. We'll see you. Welcome again, everybody. Game's about to start. I'm pleased to help out here with the webcast. Marco Mallet here with my friend David Singh, who just came back actually from a very successful Canada Games experience with Team Quebec, Dave, right?
That is correct. Yeah, we had a really good tournament at Canada Games. We were able to win the first gold medal for Quebec, and then a little bit of a break, and then here we are at the Nationals.
And the game is underway. Mesenberg just past the ring, receiving it back. Throws it in the zone. Nice stab by Team Ontario. Goes around. Tries to put the ring back into the goaltender. Is stopped by the defense. Now, oh, what a close call. A deflection almost got into the goaltender. As a reminder, officiating crew today, representing Ontario, Mr. Alex Haynes, and representing Quebec, Marc Saint-Hilaire. And we've got to tell you, this is a big accomplishment for those two fine men being asked to officiate this game, Dave, right?
Yeah, with all the work that we put in, obviously the players and the coaches put in a lot of work too, but the same thing is can be said for the officials that on average are probably officiating 10 to 15 years before they start to come to national championships.
There you go. Laurentide at center ice. Coming around, Aguiar loses the ring. Team Ontario picks it up. Passes back to Wyville. Wyville comes in. Drops a pass here to McIntosh. McIntosh passes it back to Duncan. Lydia Duncan comes around. Tries to make a play at net and still keeps the control. Paige Miller going around in the triangle, in the corner. Back to her teammate. Now, Laurentide picks up the ring. Alexandre Arsenault drops in at center. It's a two-line pass. Oh, and there's going to be a violation here that McIntosh gets for Ontario. 5-second count, that's nullified. And there we go. Team Ontario coming in with a fast break on a breakaway. Oh, nice defensive play by the Laurentide player who just stick-checked her and got the ring away. Moroni comes in. Nice shot. Screenshot, goaltender, first save of the day. There we go. Ring back at center. Team Ontario keeps control. Over the... Oh, what a play here. And first goal for Team Ontario. Jada Laliberté with a great play. The Laurentide defenseman got caught there looking at the other player coming across the ice.
Yeah, but what we could see is the two defensemen stepped up. They were at the top of the free play line, on top of the circles. They didn't notice the Ontario player sneaking. Yeah, Liberté sneaking in the back, and then the pass was a perfect pass straight in and walked in on Marie-Ève Dubé, and they're up 1-0.
1-0, 17 minutes. So within 3 minutes, Ontario, a little more than 2 minutes, Ontario takes the lead. We're going in the... Oh, nice back pass. Great save by the goaltender. Hill. La Liberté passes up the ice. Oh, missed by her teammate. We get Aguiar coming down the center. Passes to Moroni. And gets stick check and loses the ring. A two-line pass coming in here. Ontario's going to have to wait until somebody plays the ring for Laurentide. Oh, there, the nice play from the Laurentide player was calm and patient on it. Now, was that deflected by the goaltender? I kind of missed that.
That was tough to see. No, I don't think it was. It went straight out. So it'll be Team Ontario's ring, free pass, right next to their goaltender.
There we go. We see a nice pass to Wyville. He takes it up ice, puts it in the corner for a teammate. Teammate drops it back to Wyville. Wyville goes around the triangle, try to create some offense. Has a shot, great shot. Goaltender unable to control the ring. Goes back to her teammate, McIntosh. Drops the ring back to Duncan. Duncan around, picks up a bit of speed, looking for an opening, tries to drop the pass, and is being checked by Laurentide, who brings the ring back to center ice. We seem to, Dave, I don't know if you're on the, looking at the game a bit there, we seem to have some tight, Laurentide seem to be holding on their stick a little tighter than Ontario.
Yeah, well, it's understandable, too, in a game like this, at this level, but they've had a lot of experience from being at the Nationals a few times. They've won last year's gold medal, but then, as that said, Ontario takes 2-0 lead in the first 4 minutes of the game. So
Bronte Bilton.
Yep, so the jitters are going to have to change quickly for Laurentide if they don't want to find themselves behind by a few before the halfway part of the first period.
Yes, and Bilton basically put a ring on net, and the goaltender missed the save.
Yeah, that's a timing thing too. Marie-Ève Dubé is one of the top goalies in our country. Also, she's at Canada Games. I was lucky to have her as one of my goalies in Red Deer, and I'm sure she's going to adjust to get back into this game.
Yes. There we go. A big shot here by Aguiar. The ring pass back to the goaltender for Ontario. And she puts it back in play. Goes and plays again. Puts it in the corner. Aguiar picks up the ring. Tries a back pass. Oh! The cross crease pass. Just missed not by much. Desilets. Desilets has the ring. Or Canuel, sorry. Canuel has the ring to Moroni. Moroni comes around. Oh, nice. Very nice shot. Hits the goaltender stick and lands on top of the net. And as the rules would have it, the team that last touched that ring is going to lose that control, and the free pass is to Laurentide.
Yeah, that's Laurentide's top line. Canuel, Megan Fortin, and Yasmina Moroni. That's one of the lines that generate the most offense for Laurentide, so look to see these guys get back on pace pretty quickly.
That's right. Now, as we see at number 51, Fortin is one of Team Canada's Junior Team Canada 2017. Actually, the only one on the ice today representing Canada at that World Championship 2017.
Yeah, she made that team as an underager also, so she was available to for the next selection, which is coming up this year.
So there's a good chance we're going to see Megan Fortin again wearing the red and white.
Yeah, I would strongly think that she would be one of the athletes that'll be there.
We now have a penalty to Team Ontario.
Yeah. It's looking like it's going to be tripping to Wyville.
Oh, there's a second penalty being called on the play. So we should see two, unless Laurentide scores on the play, we should see two penalties up on Team Ontario. Now, Laurentide setting up the box, shoots, gets a reset. An extra 30 seconds to go and have a good play on the... Oh, and another shot. Very dangerous shot from the backside there. Cross crease. Moroni. Oh, the ring's kept in there. Laurentide goes, and with 15 seconds left on the shot clock, they take their time. They go around, make sure that they get a good shot on net. You don't want to lose control nor possession. There you go. And the play's going to stop with a boarding penalty for one player and a body contact penalty for the other player, as signaled by referees Saint-Hilaire and Haynes.
So this is going to give Laurentide a chance to get back in a game of 3-on-2 for a full 2 minutes. Again, deadly scores on this team. You could look to Laurentide to maybe close the gap with a full 2 minutes to get something done.
Yeah, and with Wyville in the penalty box, one of the most dangerous player, it's going to help Laurentide's cause. So Wyville in the box with Hillary Davidson. Both penalties on the same stoppage of play.
Yeah, Wyville's a very dangerous player, that's for sure. She was one of the members of Team Ontario's team at the Canada Games. She's a multi-sport athlete also. She'll be going to the NCAA next year for on a scholarship for soccer. So a very solid athlete, obviously. Great, one of the great players that Ontario has.
Wow.
Nope, she's out of the box.
Well, somebody...
yeah, it's 7.
Yep, so 7. So Wyville's out of the box, and...
Sydney Clearbout.
Sydney Clearbout is in the box. I'm sure to much of the Ontario team's delight.
Yeah. That was a coach's conversation with the referee after to make sure they got the right person in the box. Everything's all sorted out now. Full 2 minutes of 3-on-2 ringette.
So there's a little bit of a delay here as the clock gets set up to...
I think there's 2 clocks here. Yeah, they're changing the number on the clock because they had 4 up for Wyville instead of having the correct number of...
oh, I see.
7 and, yeah.
The person in the penalty box.
Yeah.
That's right. Play starts. Aguiar to Moroni to Aguiar. And what we should see right here, Dave, is a movement of that ring fairly quickly to create an opening and get a good scoring chance.
Yeah, you try and get the space, as much space as you can, and get a quick shot away.
As you can see, the ring was moved quite fast by Team Quebec, or Team Laurentide. And Team Ontario was able to clear the zone.
Yeah, you can see the pressure that Ontario is putting on in the neutral zone, even if it's 1 against 2. She was able to put the pressure on Laurentide to cause the turnover. So Miller did some great work in the neutral zone.
Yes, so now 42 seconds after the call of the penalty, and Laurentide hasn't had a great shot on net on this power play.
That's the danger of a 3-on-2 sometimes, is that we're trying to make the perfect pass instead of getting a lot of shots to the net, create rebounds, and create space by the shooting. So as we see here, the ring's tied up, but Laurentide is going to get a chance to try and get this 3-on-2 under control. But now you see that they've put on Megan Fortin on the corner, on the right corner, with Aguilar on top, and you'll have Moroni on the bottom left.
Successfully, Ontario has been able to keep them away from having some great shots, so great work from the 2 defensemen in there. Well, there's a good shot. Nice. Hits the goaltender.
Fortin.
Yep, that's her office. That's where she scores most of her goals.
That is correct, sir.
There. We've got a 2-line.
Yeah, and Ontario's going to be right on top here trying to check and turn this over in the defensive zone or just slow them down enough that we're going to kill some of that time up with 32 seconds left on the 3-on-2. Ontario's controlling.
Emily Power, here's Wyville, throws it in the corner. Emily Power's going there for Ontario, waiting for Laurentide to get a hold of that ring and then takes chase of it. We've got basically the same 3 players right here. Oh, we've got a 4-in for, and we've got a delay of game here on Team Laurentide.
Yeah, that's due to the third player coming into the zone and being involved in the play. Being that it's a 3-on-2, the third person walked in, and it looks like it will be number 5 for Ontario. So Olivia Verbit will be sitting for 2.
Number 17 is being sent. Emily Power. And I thought they were stopping play for 4-in for Team Laurentide.
Yeah.
But obviously it was Team Ontario getting the penalty for delay.
That is correct, sir.
Oh, we now have a situation here. The penalty box on the Laurentide side is open, and it looks like it was the play on a delay of game for Laurentide, being aggressively checking the Ontario player while they had 4 players in the restricted area.
That was caused with.
They are getting the situation cleared up.
Yeah, they're sorting it out.
They're sorting it out. From here, it looks like the officials are going to discuss and come to a resolution. We can only guess, Dave, that we've got 2 penalties for delay of game.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, obviously the Ontario player that went in the zone, that's a no-brainer. So that's a penalty for sure. There was 3 in the zone. They're allowed 2 involved in the play.
You see that? So there was only 1 penalty, and Laurentide caught it because they were allowed 3 players in the restricted area,
right.
And while Ontario had control of the ring, a 4th Laurentide player was in the restricted area, causing a delay of game.
So that's rare. We see this happening. Very rare. Yeah, very rare, exactly. Getting a defending penalty in your offensive zone, but that's an example of what that is.
That's it. Ontario's all 5 players are on now. Their penalties it's all done. A good shot there on net. Goaltender had to make a save. Wyville comes around with great speed. Passes the ring and gets it back. Oh, cross crease to Emily Power.
That's a danger as a defense. If you're looking at the ring carrier coming across, you start to sneak and try and cheat towards the middle of the ice, and then you have the second forward that flies in on the side, and then that cross crease pass is dangerous.
Yeah, and you can tell those girls have been playing a long time together, and since they're all from the same association, being Guelph, they seem to have a good chemistry for Team Ontario.
Yeah, they definitely move the ring very well.
Oh yeah, look at that! Look at that! That's a great scoring chance there. Goalie had to make the save on that one.
I think Maddie Dubé has found her bearings now too, so we're going to see, I think, a different, more aggressive Madiev for the rest of this game.
So 2-0 lead right now for Team Ontario with McIntosh. Oh, she goes around the triangle and picks that defenseman apart there.
I think the difference we're seeing right now is Team Ontario's have a lot of speed. They're coming through the triangle in their offensive zone and hitting a static triangle that Laurentide is setting up, or Team Quebec is setting up, and actually it's causing a problem now. But
we've got a timeout.
Yep.
Now, Dave, it wasn't a walk in the park to get to this final game for Team Ontario and Team Laurentide.
No, when you're looking at the results, they have to go through a round robin in their initial Their initial round was their to get access to the championship round. They were able to get through their group and finish at the top of their group. Ontario as the same. When they were coming out of that group, they played into a quarterfinal. Obviously, both teams won those quarterfinals and were able to advance to this gold medal game here today.
There. And we've seen some beautiful games being played here. And I know for being at one of them, I know Team Ontario had to come from behind and numerous times during the tournament, but they did. And one of the most exciting game was against Alberta, where they took the lead at the very last minute, and it was a 9-8 game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's correct. And being able to, I think one of Team Ontario's traits that we've seen throughout the week is their ability to score and their ability to take over a game. And that's a perfect example of being down in a game and not shutting down and saying, okay, the game over. They work hard and come back and win that game late, and hence sitting in this game today.
That's it. And I would believe the next time we'll take a look at Team Laurentide to see how they got here with their results during the week. So we now have a line violation of the free play line caused by Laurentide, which will turn the ring over, and possession and control to Ontario for a free pass in center zone.
So as mentioned, Laurentide played the Edmonton Elite, who was AB3 in their quarterfinal with a win of 6-3, and then playing the Peen in the semifinal and pulling that out 6-5. And in that game, they fought back from behind also. If I remember correctly, they were down 3-0 very early in that game and were able to battle back to win.
Yes, that's right. I remember hearing about that game.
Yeah, and Team Ontario in their quarterfinal played Team New Brunswick, won 6-3, and then in their semifinal they won 5-3 against Calgary Rush, which was Alberta 2.
Yes. Nice to see. You mentioned, great save here from the goaltender. Dave, you're right. She did find her timing is back.
Yeah, well, she's the type of goalie. If she's challenges, she uses her size, and she's at the top of the blue paint. She's effective. What's dangerous is if she sits back a little bit, like most goalies, it gives a lot more to the shooter, and with the precision that most of these players can shoot, that will equal a lot of offense. So challenge the shooter, get on top, take away any of the angles, and should be a recipe for success for both these goalies.
Look at the saves you just made. Standing in that blue paint top of the blue paint is what needs to be done. A great defensive play here from Laurentide to stop the shot. Now we've got Team Ontario coming in. They're coming in strong.
Yeah, they're using the space in the middle of that triangle that Laurentide is leaving, and the little adjustment maybe that needs to be made by Laurentide is they got to get their feet moving. Their center's got to be more aggressive and push up and take away that space in the middle, because right now they're just staying in their little quadrant and they're not closing on that space.
They're so far, if we had stats on the number of little battles that have been won, I would say Ontario is pretty much controlling those little battles.
Well, Ontario's feet are moving quickly, and they're right on top of Team Quebec 2 right away, as we see right here. Again, two girls chucking aggressively behind the net.
There we go. So plays coming out. We've got a stoppage of play where Team Laurentide's going to get the ring back. And I'm just guessing that they had second control on that ring alongside the board.
Yeah, I think it was a move or lose it. Two Laurentide players were able to tie up Team Ontario on the side of the boards, and then back to Laurentide the ring goes.
Zoe Rivers with the free pass at center. Receives it back. The ring coming into the zone. Waits for partners to set up. Goes around the triangle. And try to get that cross crease. That's unsuccessful. Team Ontario, again, a little bit of a hurrying up that pass, and Team Laurentide picks it up. Great save from Ontario goaltender to put the ring back in the corner where Laurentide goes and gets it. We've got Mai past the ring to Aguiar. Aguiar to Cosette Fortin. to Prévost. Prévost to Fortin. Fortin drives the net. Makes it hard for the goaltender to control. And Team Ontario is coming in. McIntosh. McIntosh receives the ring back over the blue line. Or Power, that is. Emily Power. Passes to Jada La Liberté. La Liberté to Power again. Misses the ring. Maroney in the corner for Laurentide. Gets the ring back. And here we go. Laurentide. Nice little simple pass to get out of the zone. Fortin. Oh, a miscalculation there by Fortin and has a line violation.
That's a danger trying to make those short passes near the blue line. If you're not moving your feet, getting that ring into space while in movement, there's always that possibility that if you mishandle it, you're going to cause a turnover. And this is a turnover caused by Ontario being aggressive on Fortin and being able to get her to make that little mistake at the blue line.
Almost to the 5-minute mark. We played close to 15 minutes of Ringette. And what a chance from Lydia Duncan, who makes the goaltender have to work for those two saves. On the first one, the crossbar. The second one, goaltender had to make the save on that one. So Eccles. Eccles to Wyville. Wyville with a nice back pass, but unsuccessful in getting in front of that triangle. That Laurentide triangle. McIntosh, great shot. Picks it up. Picked up by Wyville. Goes around. You can tell Ontario's trying to find those openings in the Laurentide defense.
Well, they're doing a really good job of controlling the play also. You have a 3-0 lead. There's 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the period. All you really want to do is just break it down by possession. 9 possessions left in this period, and you're trying to get out of it with your 3-0 lead.
There you go. The pass that was unsuccessful, and a player coming out of the player's bench, which was spotted by the Ontario player, and decided to put the ring there for her to skate into. Laurentide gets a ring. Coming into the zone with speed. Takes a shot. Shot blocked by Ontario. Battling the ring and a goaltender ring, with the ring being disputed by both teams. Lauren Hill in the net for Team Ontario. Pass back to Power. Power over the blue line to La Liberté. La Liberté back to Power. Drives the net and is saved by the Laurentide goaltender, Marie-Ève Dubé. The foresight of going and knocking the ring out of the air. We've got Duncan coming in. Duncan receives the ring. Passes. Oh, is being contested there at center ice, where there's a 5-second delay violation on Team Ontario, and Laurentide gets the ring back.
So one thing that's interesting when we're looking at these two teams today that are playing, that they both came out of Pool A of this week's competition. So Laurentide finished the week at 8-0, 16 points, and Team Ontario finished at 7-1 with 14 points. So when they crossed over, they were able to come out of this week as the two top teams and playing in this gold medal game here today.
Now, the first game between the two teams was on Tuesday, and memory serves me right, Laurentide got the 5-3 win out of it. And if they are to duplicate that, they've got to stop Team Ontario from scoring, and they have to do 5 goals to match up what they did on Tuesday.
Well, they're going to have to get that going soon. There's 2:36 left in this period. And one thing that's going to need to shift this momentum is maybe a goal here late in the period to cut down that score, the 3-0 score that Ontario has posted. And if you're Team Ontario, all you want to do is just control the next 5 possessions here and get out of this period with a 3-0 lead. Now,
Team Laurentide has their, and I don't know if we would call it the number 1 line, but certainly their more dangerous line with Canuel, Moroni, and Fortin. And they're having good chances here.
one thing you see that Laurentide is doing is they're moving in Canuel and Aguilar on this line to try and create some offense. And right now we're looking at that, and you can see that Canuel is on this line with Maroney and Fortin.
There you go. Ring over the blue line from Powers.
There's a perfect example of not needing the shot right away. You're going to make a change, put fresh legs on the ice to finish up the period with 1:35 left. And with that, Team Ontario will be in the driver's seat if they're able to control the next 1:30 with the 3-0 lead.
Takes a shot to get a reset. Dubé pass over the free play line. Over. Easily passed to her teammate, and they make a great entrance in the Ontario zone where they take control, where Laurentide keeps control and sets up for an attack. Now right through the defenseman and and a crease violation by Laurentide, where Lauren Hill, goaltender for Ontario, gives the ring to her teammate and are coming out of the zone. Had a hard time getting the control of that ring. Laurentide loses it. Ontario loses it and is battled. Oh, a pass that was intended for a teammate, and Laurentide scores.
So as you can see right off the turnover, that was a turnover in the neutral zone. A little bit of a possession mistake by Ontario, and then Laurentide was able to come down the ice and score their first goal of the game with 41 seconds left in the first period. So maybe this is going to start Laurentide's offense up for the second period.
Charlie Mai got an early or a late Christmas gift from the defenseman, the Ontario defenseman here. Straight on a breakaway, was able to successfully put it in the back of the net. Now, like any other sport like this one, momentum is important, and this might just be what Laurentide needed to get their momentum and get back in this game with a 3-1 deficit right now, late in the first period with a goal. Less than 30 seconds to play, 12 seconds. Laurentide will certainly get a shot on net or try to. Oh, loses the ring. And that will be the end of the period with a 3-1 lead by Team Ontario.
Yeah, when you look at this period, Ontario definitely took it to Laurentide throughout the period. For sure, the one little mistake that Ontario made cost them, because it was a goal that Laurentide was able to score. But if you look at the overall effort that was given, both teams are actually ramping it up now and starting to get into the regular game. And in this game, you have the two top scorers also in for the week, and with 8 games played, Megan Fortin is averaging 3.38 points per game, and Claire Wyville the same, 3.38, both with 27 points in the game. So over the week. So Megan Fortin with 21 goals and 6 assists, and Claire Wyville 17 goals and 10 assists. So we're waiting to see if those two will be on the score sheet today.
Absolutely. The one thing we don't have, and I guess we could probably go to the web to see who's got assists, and who's scored so far.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at the stats for this game. But if you're Team Ontario right now, you want to try and get that next goal, the 2-goal lead. As a coach, I'm not a big fan of the 2 or the 3-goal lead. But what you need to do is you got to take back the dominance that you had throughout the first period. If you're Laurentide, you want to step on the gas a little bit more now and see if you can catch Ontario a bit on their heels after that late goal in the period.
And we've played enough sport to know that a 2-goal lead is a bad lead. A bad lead.
But it's a lead nonetheless.
That's it. We'll see if they can sustain to keep that lead for the next 20 minutes. What a great sets of pass from Laurentide to set up on the side of the Team Ontario's net. Aguilar comes in. Shoot. Lauren Hill had to stretch to make that save. She really had to get out and make that save. That wasn't a given. Aguilar with a back pass. Missed by Maroney. Or that is. Team Ontario's coming in. Oh, what a pass that was missed here. But Wyville keeps the ring. Goes around, wait for a teammate to come in. She's coming in from the bench. There you go, Wyville with a great shot. Dubé had to make the save and couldn't control the rebound. So Team Ontario keeps control of that ring around the... Oh, shot from behind. Oh, and with a ring, you never know what happened. Bounce off the net, off the mesh of the net, and back in front of the goal line to make it. We now have a penalty, being delayed penalty on Ontario.
Yeah, it looks like Wyville will be going to the box. 2 minutes for slashing. Seems to be what the call may be. He's checking really high up on the stick on the Laurentide defense.
And in Ringette, for those who know or don't know, you're able to stick check on the lower third portion of that stick. And as soon as you start getting into the glove, you're getting into dangerous territories.
Well, Team Ontario is very lucky there. Goaltender was turned around facing her net, and Laurentide lost control of the ring. They had a wide open net to put the goal in and bring the score back to 3-2. But luckily for Team Ontario, no shot was taken, but they will be on a disadvantage because of the penalty for slashing to Wyville.
In Wyville. There we go. Now we've got Team Laurentide setting up. Prévost on the ice. Prévost with Aguiar. Aguiar to Prévost. Prévost comes around, takes a shot, stopped. There's a net violation or a crease violation by Laurentide, but the 5-second count is applied. The defenseman just gave the ring right in front of that crease, but still was lucky enough to regain possession and control of that ring, and is controlled by Team Ontario in neutral zone. There it is. And a shot clock violation, 30-second violation. Team Laurentide gets a ring where they start their attack from their zone. Now have Fortin stick check the opponent, grabs a ring back, goes around the defenseman, passes to Maroney. Maroney to Fortin. Fortin's in. Pass back to Canuel. Canuel comes in with a great shot. Oh, Maroney almost was able to deflect the ring back into Ontario's net, but was unlucky, unsuccessful doing so, and just missed it by a few inches.
I think on the play, Canuel got tied up with an Ontario defender, and the play was stopped because she was on the ice. So ring going back to Laurentide in the defensive zone. No reset, so 26 seconds left on the shot clock.
That's a great point. No reset on it. Shot clock operator today, shot clock official, Mike Murphy from Oromocto, New Brunswick. And Mike was successful this year in attending Canada Winter Game as a minor official or a shot clock official. Certainly very well respected in what he does. And is a job that is not easy to do, Dave, as you know.
No, I think that's one of the toughest jobs to do. I've done it a couple times. I've tried to do it a couple times, and I am completely useless at it. I'll stick to being on the ice.
And shot clock is one of those things. Most of the time, there's no issues. But when there are, it can be costly. Team Ontario comes in with a great shot on net.
Yeah, that was a great give and go with Wyville, and they kept their speed through the neutral zone, and a great shot on net also.
Canuel to Maroney. Maroney to number 74 here. Marianne Prévost. Oh, we've got a great shot. Hits the crossbar by Fortin from a pass from Maroney.
I think we're going to be seeing a lot of this line over the next 15 and a half minutes.
Oh, another crossbar. We just saw that. We now have Canuel that's not playing with with Maroney and Fortin.
No,
probably got hurt.
Yeah, she probably, when she got tangled up in the last play, they've put in number 74, Marianne Prévost, on that line with Maroney and Fortin.
It's too bad for Canuel because she's very, very effective on that line. You don't like to see anybody getting hurt.
No, with the speed, it happens, right? So we'll see if she'll be able to get back in this game. Maybe she's just taking a little bit of a rest, and we might see her a little bit later on.
We now have Duncan pass to Eccles to Miller. Oh, a shot. A sneaky shot, I call them.
Yeah, very sneaky. Dubé was up to the task, and Laurentide are able to break out.
There's a great pass from Laurentide coming in the zone. There's a little bit of a bump. Player goes down, but not enough to get a penalty on it. And what a great back pass here. The defenseman stood their ground, never moved, got picked, and that's why Ontario didn't get a penalty on it. She never moved to, kept her ground.
Laurentide are doing a better job now of moving their feet and getting the ring moving quickly. And Ontario's up to the task too. Their triangle has been very solid, not letting Laurentide get inside after that early goal, that late goal in the first period, and the early pressure that Laurentide has put on this Ontario team. But Ontario is up to task and keeping Quebec at a 3-1 scoreline.
There you go. We now have Chouinard, the third player to play with Maroney and Fortin. So Chouinard is now part of that trio where Fortin was able to grab the ring back to Chouinard with a back pass. Chouinard brings it to Maroney. Maroney decides that she's going to take her time, set things up, look for an opening, pass it to Fortin. Fortin with a back pass to Chouinard. Chouinard loses the ring, stick check by Ontario. And a crease violation was Ontario's crease violation, so Laurentide gets the ring back.
Well, Ontario's goalie, Lauren Hill's going to have to be careful because there's been a couple of times that she slid by her post, and that's leaving a very big opening for the Laurentide shooters to take, but they haven't had that opportunity to do it yet, and they haven't finalized it yet, but she's going to have to be a bit more tighter within the two posts and make sure she's not sliding too far.
We've seen Ringette in Ontario zone quite often, for the last 6 minutes there here of the second period. Yeah, it seems it's all in this area of the ice.
It's a little bit of a change from the first period, but I think the positive on Ontario side is they're able to keep them on the outside, and by doing so, Hill's got a good chance of seeing the ring and making the stop, but they can't let Laurentide come to the well too many times because sooner or later it's going to start to cash in for Laurentide.
Look at a nice defensive play from Laurentide, who sneaked the ring back out of the Ontario's control.
Yeah, that's a strong check by Aguilar, if I'm not mistaken. She's a really quick and shifty forward for them. She's very good on the offensive forecheck and then turnover, giving Laurentide the free pass. Ontario's offensive zone, and back on the ice is our Maroney, Fortin, and if I'm not mistaken, this looks like Canuel is back. Yes, she is. Yeah, she's back. So Canuel is back.
Canuel is back. Yes. Yep. Yeah. I mean, coming up through the junior ranks and the for having been in a lot of tournaments here, I remember being Fortin was always paired with a player that just stepped off the ice there, Aguilar. I wonder if there's a possibility of those two to reconnect.
There's probably a possibility late in the game that it can reconnect, that's for sure. But I think what Laurentide has done is they spread out their offense on their two lines, and when they need to, they put those three together, and yeah, they're very deadly.
They're deadly. I remember seeing them. They're very deadly. Maroney coming out, looking for a pass. Canuel looking to just change here. Jasmina. Oh, there we go. So 35 here. Lefebvre tries to hit. the goaltender for a reset and an unsuccessful. Lauren Hill puts the ring back in play where, oh, there you go. It was left on the blue line from Laurentide, and player from Ontario was able to pick it up from the blue line, and away they go.
So if you're Team Ontario now with 11 minutes and 20 seconds left in this game, you're going to try and control as many of these possessions as you can. And when you have the chance, get your good quality shots when they come available.
And we see right here a good shot from Wyville. Took the defenseman as a screen and put the ring right on net. Dubé had to make a great save.
You know, Dubé is definitely keeping Laurentide back keeping them in this game. The next goal is going to be huge which way it goes. If it's going to be 4-1 or it's going to be 3-2, it'll definitely be a momentum changer for one of these teams.
There we go. Laurentide's coming out. And we kind of see a little more speed from Laurentide than the defenseman from Ontario. They were slow coming back here, Dave.
Yeah, they're putting I think Laurentide, and we've seen that in this whole period, they're putting it into fifth gear now, and then Ontario is kind of weathering the storm. But again, I think that the play of Ontario in their defensive zone is what's keeping this game at a 3-1 score line. But if that triangle starts to open up a little bit more, that's going to give Laurentide the chances. But if Ontario is able to keep that triangle tight like that, they might be defending a lot of this period. But Laurentide are not getting big chances yet. They're shooting from outside. So again, Hill is able to see those. She's going to stop it.
Now, a change here for Laurentide. Prévost is now on the line. I would imagine Canuel is probably hurt.
Yeah, well, I think he's been switching. The third person has been playing with these two because she just had a shift with them a little earlier in the period.
Yes. Find that the Ontario players are playing a long shift here, and that could be the situation here. We've got a 5-second violation, crease violation created by Laurentide. Ring given back to Lauren Hill for Ontario. And there's a big bump here, and a lower third being called on Team Ontario when she was trying to keep the ring.
Yeah, sometimes boom on the boards doesn't mean that there's a penalty. Those both players were playing that ring, put themselves in a situation, and Team Ontario slightly fell into the boards, but no penalty there, and that's a good no call for sure.
That's it. No harm, no foul.
That's it.
Play on.
That's it. Play on. Exactly.
Oh, no. Laurentide has to wait until couldn't touch that ring. Aguilar.
It's always a risky move when you don't take the ring. I always tell my players, just pick it up. I'll take the whistle better than a 2-on-1 going the other way.
Yep. Take the free pass.
Yep.
And give the free pass away.
Yeah.
Aguilar coming in. Quite a speedy little player. And don't let size fool you, because she's dangerous. A great shot, and it's a goal right behind the goaltender, Lauren Hill. Aguilar passed that ring, and I would say if at U19, you're probably looking at the three smallest player playing together here in size.
Yeah,
not in heart.
No, when you look at that too, that's another turnover, right? So a turnover that was costly for Ontario, and you mentioned it a little earlier. Maybe they were on the ice a little too long, but with Laurentide's aggressive forecheck, turn it over now. We have a new game for the next 9 minutes and 15 seconds. 3-2.
3-2. And I've got to say, Team Ontario has been used to coming from behind or seeing those comeback from other teams. So far, they've been able to weather the storm. We'll see what the next 9 minutes bring to this game.
Well, Laurentide are fresh off their semifinal win where they were down 3-0, if I'm not mistaken, in the first 5 minutes.
Look at the save that Dubé made. Slid across, came in.
That's a big answer back, too, by Team Ontario, but a bigger save by Marie-Ève Dubé to keep her team in this game. But that's a good answer back for Team Ontario to see your team come down the ice and get a really quality shot like that, only stopped by a equally quality save.
That's right. And Duncan passes to Miller. Miller comes in with Heckless. Team Laurentide coming out of their zone, making sure that they get that good pass. Now controlling the ring at center. Passes to Fortin, but that's a hard pass to catch. Fortin couldn't grab that.
Definitely not a friendly pass.
No. There we go. Laurentid brings the ring into Ontario zone. Maroney coming in. Takes a shot. Hits a goaltender stick. Fortin goes in. And grabs the ring. Wait for a teammate to make a change. Make sure they've got control of that ring before leaving the ice. She's coming around. Makes a back pass. Oh, tries to force that pass. Was unsuccessful there. Aguirre coming in. Cross crease. What a goal by Laurentid. And we've got a tie game.
That's a major momentum switch. Obviously started early in this second period when Laurentid was starting to come hard at Team Ontario. Now if you're Team Ontario, you're probably looking to take a timeout to switch this momentum, get your team back on track. With 7:24 left, we've got a 3-3 tie. And it looks exactly like what's going to happen. Ontario's going to take a timeout and try and get the train back on the rails.
I see Coach Mesenberg just gave the indication to the officials that he wanted to take a timeout. So you're right, Dave.
Yeah, that's the danger of leaving that corner again. The Laurentid pulled the ring over to one side of the ice, opening up the corner pass straight across, and that's what dinged Laurentid twice early in this game. And now we see the same thing coming back by Laurentid, returning the favor to Ontario. But again, it's a great game, 3-3.
And what we would have expected is some of the most the high-scoring players to take over this game. It doesn't seem to be that way, Dave.
No, not yet. And you know what? Sometimes in these types of games, that's what we see is that are people that are not usually the go-to people that step up and are able to carry the weight, because obviously teams defensively are going to know the top scorers on the other team. So maybe they're playing them a bit tighter, which is opening up space for other players that are able to shine. And we're seeing that by today, but none of the goals are being scored by the two top players in this year's tournament.
I think it's a great message to the other players to say, listen, everybody has to pitch in, and you know what? We've been here all year. We've been working together all year. We can't leave it to our superstars, and there you go. There's a great response from Team Ontario.
So there you go. When you look at the momentum change again, Team Ontario saw that Quebec was starting to take charge of the second period. Ontario calls a timeout, and they answer back in less than 30 seconds to take a 4-3 lead.
So that's a great timeout.
That's the thing that a lot of younger coaches that struggle with sometimes, is saying, like, you know what, we had the lead. Now it's a tie game. Maybe I'm not going to take my timeout. But Team Ontario taking that timeout at the right time, obviously, and now it's a 4-3 game.
There you go. So Team Laurentid was able to gain control inside the Ontario's offensive or defensive zone.
Sorry, that's my bad. So if we're looking, I was just looking quickly at the stats for this game. For Laurentid, it's Maillet that has her hat trick. So she scored all 3 goals for Laurentid.
Wow. That's a good. That's being built over the year. I mean, you just can't ask those players to show up in one game. They've been playing all year, and they've been getting ready, and they're asked to come up and have some contribution.
Yeah, that's a big answer back for Ontario, like we were just talking about earlier. And then we're going to see now, are they going to be able to keep their foot on the gas for the next 5 minutes and close out this game?
Megan Fortin. Passes the ring to Prévost. Prévost in the back of Ontario's net. Comes in. Fortin comes in with speed. Takes a good shot. And has a delay of game penalty for number 7. Ontario, number 7 defenseman. Clearbout basically grabbing the ring while outside of the crease.
Yeah, that's probably not the right time to be getting a penalty, but obviously leaving Megan Fortin alone on the doorstep, or having a choice to take a penalty and trust your defense. I would take the penalty and trust your defense.
5 minutes 38 in the second half. Now have start of play. We're seeing here Canuel on the line. Canuel has been shifted from Megan Fortin's line and is now working with Aguiar and Mai, who has a hat trick here. So now have one of the stronger player on the ice being Wyville, Claire Wyville, goes around the triangle, Laurentide triangle, passes to her teammate who tries to sneak a shot on net, unsuccessful, was trying to beat the 30-second shot clock and was unable to do so. Control back to Laurentide. Laurentide's coming out of the zone. A great little pass over the blue line. And that's a harder pass to get, but was lucky enough to get it. And Fortin's on with the ring. But for 4 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the second half. Maroney.
If you're Laurentide right now, too, you want to be careful not to open up too early also. You still got 4.5 minutes left. You're only down by 1. So you want to make sure you're still doing your job on the back end. That's going to hopefully fill the your offensive need.
This was a strange play from Team Ontario, who dropped the ring into Laurentide, but never went to the bench and changed. Maybe a little bit of a tiredness setting in. And we've seen it in the second period where Laurentide seems to have taken a bit of the momentum.
Well, both teams are going to have to be careful of looking at who's on the ice and at what time to make sure.
We've got a play here that was almost successful for Laurentide, but got tied out with a Ontario player. And we see a little bit of bad ice here, or just losing her footing.
I think we're seeing a little bit more aggressive play is what we're going to see right now.
Whoa, a big play here. And is going to be a tripping penalty to number 5 from Ontario.
Yeah, that's a tough play. Ontario they made a mistake in their defensive zone, and Laurentide almost went straight through for on a breakaway, but that's a breakaway saving penalty. That was taken right there.
You'd take those penalties any day, would you?
I'm okay with that. You got a penalty to give. You're still playing 3-on-3 in your zone or in the offensive or defensive zone. Only advantage with that penalty is in the neutral zone. So the amount of time that's spent in the neutral zone compared to the two zones, the other zones, is not even comparable.
Laurentide's going to pull their goaltender here, trying to put that fourth player in the offensive zone and create more attack. Maroney comes in, passes to Fortin. Fortin the top two. Canuel. Canuel goes in the back of the net and fights it out with Sharp.
That's a big save by Hill, too, to step up and be on top of the crease like that.
Fortin couldn't release that ring quick enough. Missed the shot. Maroney, top of the triangle, tried to sneak a pass into the triangle. Canuel in the corner, passes to Fortin. Maroney has gone for a change. Prévost and Canuel are there. Couldn't grab the ring. Ontario's over in the neutral zone. 2:40 left in the second half, with Ontario leading 4-3.
Well, if you're Team Ontario right now, you want to kill out those possessions, gain the zone. You don't want to drive the net with less than maybe 5 to 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Get a reset and keep it going. If you look at that now, Ontario has 5 more possessions they got to get through to win a gold medal here at the National Championships.
3 seconds on the shot clock and a reset when it was given to the goalie. We've got a piece of equipment here that's coming apart for Aguiar.
Seems to be her pants strap. Hopefully she doesn't step on that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So now we have Laurentide setting up, trying to create some offense here. What a shot. Hits a crossbar from... and the shot clock goes in error.
If you're Laurentide right now with 1:50 left, you got to look for when are you going to use your timeout. Also, with the 14 seconds left on Team Ontario's penalty, Laurentide obviously have pulled their goalie, so they're going to be playing with 4 in the offensive zone, but they haven't put the 6th player back on the ice, obviously, so they're able to put the goalie back in and out as need be.
Fulton's back on the ice for Team Laurentide.
Laurentide are trying to work the corners. They're not putting somebody in front of the net. They're trying to work the corners and get a quick shot away.
Oh. What a speed from Wyville, who gets hooked down and will benefit. Is now trying to kill the 20 seconds left on the shot clock before trying to get a reset.
Yeah, that penalty has been going to Megan Fulton. Should be 2 minutes for hooking. But again, if you're Ontario right now, you want to just kill off the time now. And that's going to be a big loss for Laurentide now for the next minute and 11 seconds, with Fulton being in the box, who is the top scorer here at these national championships.
Play was stopped here when Team Ontario covered the ring.
Yep.
And since it was the that act that actually stopped play, ring is given back to Laurentide because of the violation from Team Ontario. Even though they got a penalty. Even though Laurentide got a penalty.
Yeah, as we both know, it's what causes the stoppage of play. So the stoppage of play was the ring being covered by Team Ontario. Laurentide ring.
Laurentide is pressing to get the ring out of their zone and have a hard time doing so. Team Ontario grabs the ring, control back. Less than a minute to play in the game.
Yeah, that's a costly turnover by Laurentide when they had the free pass in their own zone.
Exactly, and it's going to take everything. There's 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Team Ontario is going to wait the very last second to make a shot and score. Score by Team Ontario. A great shot by Lydia Duncan. Used the defenseman as a screen. Beat Dubé 5-hole.
Well, if you're Laurentide right now, you have to take your time out. There's 39 seconds left. Get the players on the ice you need. Sure, they need to get 2 goals, but they're going to have to look for a quick shot right away. They got to pull their goalie, which I think is going to be happening.
And it doesn't look like Team Laurentide is going to call the timeout. And they are not. They're going straight to it. And, the last 30-second of the game being played here.
They're going to have to look to drive the net quickly and get some shots.
If you get a chance, you've got to score now. And a ring given back to the goaltender, Hill. So puts him back in play, but Laurentide's not putting any pressure. Ontario wants to get rid of that ring, and they know that that's the 10 second that's left is not enough for Team Laurentide to come back. And Laurentide knows it as well. And there it is, Team Ontario 2019 Canadian Ringette Championship gold medalists.
Now, it's a great game played by Team Ontario. They had some challenging times midway through that second period with Laurentide coming back to tie up the game, but the timely choice for that timeout by Team Ontario was a game changer also. They were able to come back and score quickly to take the lead, and after that they did not lose that lead.
And they took a very quick lead in the game. Very quick lead. I've got to tell you, there's nothing to be ashamed in getting a silver medal at the Canadian Ringette Championship.
No.
And that Laurentide team should be proud of themselves.
No, they worked very hard, obviously coming through the round robin without losing a game, and then coming into championship round, winning the 2 games to get to this gold medal game today. They did a very good job, but obviously Ontario has done the same thing. They've worked very hard. You can see that the adjustments they made late in that second period also were able to get them the win.
What you will be witnessing now is the medal and golden stick presentation to the Team Ontario. You'll be seeing the silver medalists. Laurentide getting their medals as well, and Team Alberta 4, if I'm not mistaken, getting their bronze. Alberta 2, Calgary Rush, getting their bronze medal. all medals for the participants are given after the gold medal game. So and that's why we see on the ice the Alberta team dressed in their casual wear.
For sure, when you look at these are two teams that worked very hard all year to be tops in their provinces and did very well. And this is there's got to be a winner, there's got to be a loser, but both these teams played really well. Laurentian came back from that early deficit. Ontario adjusted well when Laurentian came back and were able to take charge of the game, and now are going to be crowned the 2019 gold medalists in the U19 division here in PEI.
There. So from the Carey Arena, we will see or talk to you again in about 50 minutes when the National Ringette League Championship will take place with Team Atlantic Attack versus Calgary Wrath.
Correct.
So we've got a repeat. Well, not necessarily a repeat. Last year was Wham, but
yeah.
Alberta versus Atlantic for the second year in a row for the gold medal game of the National Ringette League Championship in 50 minutes from now.
On behalf of Ringette Canada and the host committee, we are now proud to present the awards for the U19 division of the 2019 Credit Union Canadian Ringette Championships. Au nom de Ringette Canada et du comité organisateur, nous sommes fiers de présenter les prix du championnat canadien de Ringette 2019 pour la division des moins de 19 ans. Congratulations to the teams for a very exciting and well-played game. We will begin with the individual player awards for this game. Félicitations aux équipes pour cette partie stimulante jouée avec brio. Nous allons commencer avec les prix individuels. Présentant le prix, presenting the award is Janet Clark of Sturt McKelvey. The Individual Achievement Award, the Prix du Mérite Individuel for Team Ontario is number 17, Emily Power. Is number 88, Charlie Mai. And the defensive game star, l'étoile défensive de la partie from Team Ontario is number 10, Lydia Duncan. And now, the presentation of the bronze medals. Et maintenant, la présentation de la médaille de bronze. Congratulations to Team Alberta from Calgary. Number 2, Caitlin Hetland. Number 2, Caitlin Hetland. Number 3, Sydney Tisdale. Number 4, Maddie Valesky. Number 5, Brooklyn Murray. Number 6, Ashlyn Armstrong. Number 10, Bryn Nesbitt. Number 16, Brooke Armstrong. Number 17, Tiana Adams. Number 7, Oceana Rosenberg. Number 8, Marla Wheeler. Number 9, Darcy Cowan. Number 11, Tamsin Hancock. Number 12, Lindsay Jones. Number 18, Madison Istis. Number 31, Kennedy Provencha. And coaching staff, Michelle Wheeler, Scott Armstrong, Sean Messuad, Corey Johnstone, Lindsay Key, and Kaylee Moore. And now to the presentation of the silver medals. Et maintenant la présentation de la médaille d'argent. Congratulations, félicitations à l'équipe de Québec et Laurentides. Number 24, Jolie Brochu. Number 27, Marielle Dubé. Numéro 12, Alexandre Arsenault-Journard. Numéro 13, Kellyanne Marnier. Numéro 22, Delphine Aguilar. Numéro 35, Gabrielle Lefebvre. Numéro 47, Lauriane Vésinet. Numéro 49, Noémie Samuel. Numéro 51, Mégane Fortin. Numéro 55, Laurence Saint-Denis. Numéro 74, Marianne Prévost. Numéro 87, Zoe Rivers. Numéro 98, Charlie Mai. Numéro 95, Jasmina Molony. And coaching staff, Daniel Ducan, Maud Ducan, Juliette Rousseau et Gabrielle Lefebvre. Number 6, Lauren Eckles. Number 7, Sydney Clearbout. Number 8, Hillary Davidson. Number 9, Caitlin Sharp. Number 10, Lydia Duncan. Number 11, Lauren Bidden. Number 12, Bronte Bidden. Number 15, Julia Vandenberg. Number 16, Danielle McIntosh. Number 17, Emily Power. Number 19, Jada Nalidase. Number 20, Abby Hahn. And coaching staff, John Messenberg, Dave Eckles, Laura Weisel, and Todd Clairville. The gold, silver, and bronze medal winners are also receiving a coordinating lapel pin along with their medal. We encourage them to give this special memento to someone who has supported and encouraged their journey in Ringette to this moment in their career. Les gagnants des médailles d'or, d'argent et de bronze reçoivent également une épinglette avec leur médaille. Nous les encourageons à donner ce souvenir spécial à quelqu'un qui a soutenu et encouragé leur parcours en Ringette jusqu'à ce moment de leur carrière. We would now ask the captains to come forward and accept the championship banner and trophy. Nous demandons